They were just a group of friends who loved making prank videos for their YouTube channel. One day, they came up with a new idea that they thought would be their best yet. And the plan was simple: pretend to scare a stranger by pretending to be dangerous criminals. They wanted to capture the reactions on camera and make a funny video. Everyone was excited and agreed to meet at a quiet street where there wouldn't be many people around. They prepared costumes, fake weapons, and even rehearsed their lines to make the prank look real. The group joked and laughed as they set up their cameras and got ready. No one expected what would happen next. They thought it would be just another fun video, but this time, things were about to take a dark turn. What started as a harmless prank was about to change their lives forever. Little did they know, the stranger they chose for the prank was not someone to joke with. The moment they started filming, the prank turned deadly serious. The line between pretend and reality blurred, and soon, they found themselves trapped in a nightmare they never imagined. After finalizing their prank plan, the group carefully picked the perfect location: a quiet, dimly lit street at the edge of town. They wanted to avoid crowds and make sure their prank looked convincing without interruptions. Each member had a specific role. One handled the camera, others dressed as the fake criminals, and one person acted as the lookout. They set up the camera on a tripod, adjusting the angle to capture everything clearly. The nervous excitement in the air was hard to ignore. Phones were checked, lights were tested, and costumes were double-checked. Everyone was laughing and trying to keep the mood light, but a small part of them wondered if the prank might go too far. The clock was ticking as they waited for their unsuspecting target to appear. The group whispered among themselves, sharing last-minute instructions and reminding each other to stay in character. They wanted the prank to be believable but safe. No one thought anyone could get hurt. As the first person walked down the street, the pranksters moved into position. The camera started rolling, capturing every second of their fake threat. The group called out, trying to scare the stranger, but what they didn't realize was that the situation was quickly slipping out of their control. The stranger's reaction was not what they expected. Instead of fear, something else began to show in his eyes. The prank was no longer a joke. As the prank unfolded, the stranger suddenly stopped and turned toward the group with an intense look. The friends expected him to be scared, maybe run away, but instead, he stared back coldly. The pranksters began to feel uneasy. What was supposed to be a funny moment was turning serious fast. The stranger didn't yell or scream. He simply reached into his pocket calmly. Everyone froze. The atmosphere changed instantly. What they thought was just acting suddenly became very real and dangerous. The stranger pulled out a real weapon, not a prop, but something deadly. Panic started to spread among the group. Some tried to back away slowly, but the stranger moved quickly. The line between the prank and reality had vanished. Suddenly, screams replaced laughter. The friends realized they were no longer safe. The prank had taken a horrifying turn no one expected. Their cameras were still rolling, capturing every terrifying second. What began as a joke was now a crime scene. The friends had unknowingly filmed a moment that would change everything. A real murder in the middle of their prank. The pranksters couldn't believe what was happening. The stranger, once just a victim of their joke, had turned into a real threat. His calm face was now cold and unforgiving. The fake game had become deadly serious in an instant. Fear took over everyone's hearts. The stranger advanced, and the friends tried to defend themselves. But it was too late. The situation spiraled out of control as the weapon was used for real. The shocking violence stunned everyone. The camera kept rolling, capturing the horror as it unfolded. Suddenly, silence fell after the chaos. The friends stood frozen, unable to move or speak. The prank had become a nightmare they couldn't escape. Their world had changed forever in just a few terrifying moments. They realized they were witnesses to a real murder. Their prank had unleashed something dangerous and deadly. The question was, what would happen next? Would they be blamed? Could they get help? The fear of what was coming consumed them as they faced the consequences of their terrible mistake. The moment the stranger's real violence hit, panic spread like wildfire. The friends screamed and scattered in all directions, each trying to save themselves from the unexpected horror. The prank was over. But chaos had just begun. One of them dropped the camera, but it kept filming, capturing everything in shaky, terrifying footage. The street echoed with cries and confusion as the friends ran, looking for a way out. Their hearts pounded, and their minds raced to understand what had just happened. They tried calling for help, but their voices trembled, and fear made it hard to speak clearly. Some stumbled, some hid behind cars and walls, hoping to escape the nightmare. The prank had turned their fun day into a fight for survival. No one knew what the stranger would do next, and the uncertainty made the fear worse. Every sound made them jump, every shadow seemed dangerous. The friends were trapped in a nightmare they had created themselves, and now they had to live with the horrifying truth. A prank had turned into a deadly reality. After the horrifying incident, the police arrived quickly at the scene. The friends were shaken, but managed to explain what had happened. The footage from their camera became crucial evidence. Investigators carefully watched the shaky video, piecing together the terrifying moments that led to the real murder. Detectives questioned each friend separately, trying to understand the events clearly. They wanted to know why the prank went so wrong, and if anyone had planned the real violence. The friends told their side, still struggling to believe what had happened. The investigation uncovered the stranger's background, a troubled past and a history of violence that no one knew about. This explained why the prank had turned dangerous so fast. The police searched for more evidence and talked to neighbors, hoping to find clues. Slowly, the truth began to emerge. The prank was a tragic mistake, but the stranger's actions were real and violent. The friends felt guilty and scared, knowing their joke had ended in death. The police promised justice and warned the community about the dangers of mixing pranks with real life. The friends realized that some jokes could have deadly consequences, and they would never forget the night when their prank turned into a real murder. As the investigation deepened, the shocking truth came out. The stranger wasn't just a random person. They discovered he had been involved in dangerous crimes before. And his violent reaction wasn't a surprise to those who knew him. The prank unknowingly targeted someone with a dark past, making the situation worse. The friends struggled with guilt, realizing their prank had triggered a deadly event. What was meant to be fun and harmless became a nightmare that changed their lives forever. They learned a hard lesson: pranks can have serious consequences, especially when you don't know who you're dealing with. The community was shaken too. People started questioning the safety of such prank videos and the risks involved. The friends faced both legal and emotional battles as the police continued their work. In the end, the prank that started with laughter ended with tragedy and loss. The story serves as a powerful warning. Sometimes, what seems like a joke can quickly turn into something much darker. The friends' lives were never the same again, and neither was the meaning of their pranks. Thanks for watching. If you found this story chilling, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more real life mysteries. What would you do if a prank suddenly turned deadly? Could a simple joke ever be worth such a risk? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. And don't miss our next video. She answered the door and was never seen again. Stay safe and stay curious!